Once upon a time, in a cozy little home nestled in a sunny meadow, lived a mother pig with her 3 little sons. They were happy and content, but the day came when they were all grown up. Mother Pig gathered them around and said, "My dear sons, it's time for you to go out into the world and build your own homes. But remember my words. Whatever you do, do it with all your heart and build your house strong and safe. For in the deep, dark woods, there lives a big bad wolf." The 3 little pigs hugged their mother goodbye, packed their little bags, and set off on their adventure. The first little pig, who was a bit lazy and always looked for the easiest way to do things, hadn't walked very far when he met a man carrying a bundle of straw. Perfect, he thought. This will be so easy. He asked the man, "Please, sir, may I have some of that straw to build my house?" The man kindly agreed. So the first little pig took the straw, and in no time at all he had built a little house. It was quick, but it wasn't very strong. He danced around his new home, singing, "I've built my house of straw. I'm safe and sound, hurrah." The second little pig, who was a little less lazy but still liked to get things done quickly, walked a bit further down the road. Soon he came across a man with a cart full of sticks. He thought, sticks are stronger than straw, and this will still be pretty fast. He politely asked the man, "Excuse me, sir, could I have some of those sticks to build my house?" The man gave him a large bundle. The second little pig worked a little harder than his brother and built a house of sticks. It looked a bit sturdier than the straw house. He stood back proudly and said, "My house of sticks is neat and quick. No wolf can get me with his trick." Now, the third little pig was the wisest and most hard-working of the 3. He remembered his mother's advice about building a strong house. He walked past the straw and the sticks, determined to find the best material. After a long walk, he met a man with a wagon full of heavy red bricks. "This is it," he exclaimed. "This is what I need." He asked the man, "Sir, would you be willing to sell me some of your bricks to build a house?" The man agreed, and the third little pig paid him with the coins he had saved. Building with bricks was hard work. He had to mix mortar, lay each brick carefully, and build a tall, strong chimney. It took him a very long time, but when he was finished, he had a solid, sturdy brick house. He felt very safe and proud, saying, "My house of bricks is built to last. Let the wolf come. I'm ready fast." It wasn't long before the big bad wolf came strolling through the woods. He was big, he was bad, and he was very, very hungry. His sharp eyes spotted the little straw house. He crept up to the door and licked his lips. He knocked on the door and said in a sweet voice, little pig, let me come in." The first little pig trembled inside. He peeked through a crack and saw the wolf's big ears. "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," he squeaked. The wolf's sweet voice turned into a deep growl. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." And he huffed, and with one mighty breath, he blew the straw house all to pieces. The little pig squealed in terror and ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his brother S house of sticks. The first little pig burst into the stick house, panting, the wolf is coming." Just then they heard a knock at the door. It was the big bad wolf, even hungrier now. Little pigs, let me come in," he called out. The two brothers huddled together, their hearts pounding. "Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins," they shouted back. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," roared the wolf. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he huffed. The stick house shivered and shook, and then it collapsed in a heap of twigs and branches. The two little pigs scrambled out of the wreckage and ran for their lives, straight to their brother's house of bricks. They tumbled inside, slamming the heavy wooden door just as the wolf arrived. "The wolf is here. He blew down both our houses," they cried. The third little pig calmly bolted the door. "Don't worry," he said. "You are safe here." The wolf was furious and starving. He banged on the brick door. Little pigs, let me come in," he bellowed. All three pigs shouted together, "Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins." The wolf was enraged. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," he said, and he puffed. He puffed and he huffed and puffed until he was blue in the face, but the brick house didn't even tremble. Not a single brick moved. The wolf was exhausted, but he wasn't ready to give up. He was a cunning wolf. He looked up and saw the chimney. "Aha," he thought with a wicked grin. "I'll climb up the roof and slide down the chimney. I'll catch them all and have a feast." He quietly clambered onto the roof and made his way to the chimney. But inside, the clever third little pig had heard the scrambling on the roof. He knew exactly what the wolf was planning. Quick as a flash, he told his brothers, "Quick, help me." They placed a large pot of water in the fireplace and lit a blazing fire underneath it. Just as the water began to boil, the big bad wolf squeezed himself into the chimney and started to slide down. He was thinking about the delicious meal he was about to have. But instead of landing softly on the hearth, he fell right into the pot of boiling water with a giant splash. He yelped in pain, shot back up the chimney like a rocket, and ran off into the woods, howling all the way. He was never seen in that part of the woods again. The three little pigs were overjoyed. They danced and celebrated their victory. The first two pigs learned a very important lesson that day. They understood why their mother had told them to do things with all their heart. They thanked their wise brother for saving them and for building such a strong and wonderful house. From that day on, the three little pigs lived together happily and safely in the little brick house. Always remembering that hard work and doing things the right way always pays off in the end. And that's the story of the three little pigs. It just goes to show you, taking shortcuts doesn't always work out. It's better to put in the effort and build something that lasts. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more classic tales. See you next time.